Hey everyone, Joseph Onesta, clinical hypnosis practitioner from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I'm back with you with episode 5 of Change is Difficult. Why is change difficult? This is episode 5, and I think it's the last one. There may come another one someday if something else comes up. But anyway, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a mental health professional. I don't give any medical advice. But in terms of change, we clinical hypnotists are pretty much experts at it, and we do a lot of it. And so I have witnessed some of the things that have caused people to struggle in their changes. And we always there's always room to improve our lives and improve the way we experience it. So change is not a bad thing. But why doesn't it stick, and why do we have so much trouble with it? And this final episode is really about the downward trajectory of motivation and effort. There comes this moment where we make the decision, and for a lot of people it's New Year's Eve, which is really a bad time to make resolutions, especially if you're at a party and drinking. But the idea that we're really going to jump in, and you'll go, some people, they'll buy like gym memberships, and they'll throw a whole bunch of food out of their pantry because it contains sugar, and they'll do a whole bunch of really drastic things, and they jump in. Sometimes when I'm working with diabetic clients, which is metabolic disease is my specialty, I'm working with diabetic clients. They want to dive into keto all the way. And I have no objection to a ketogenic lifestyle at all. On the other hand, I know that jumping in whole hog, as we might say back in the day, that it's unsustainable because, I'll never do this again. Really? Really? Think it through. And so, and that goes back to number 2, right? Know yourself. Really? So anyway, jumping in whole hog, and what happens is that your motivation is off the charts. You'll buy gym memberships, throw your stuff away, whatever it is. And then all of a sudden you hit this sort of apex. It's like, it's the maximum that you can or are willing to do. And because it doesn't happen fast enough, and the change, it's still frustrating. You thought it would take less time. You're looking for fast, easy results. You want to get this over with, this time, and you start to taper off in terms of what you're doing and how you're doing it. And that's perfectly natural. You need to know that. It's perfectly natural. And the only way you can get beyond that is to A, expect that it's going to happen, and B, maybe not jump into the deep end of the pool from the beginning. What I've learned in my practice is that small changes accumulate over time, and things that I or my clients thought were impossible in the beginning of the process later became very achievable simply because we had gained ground. So trying to do something whole hog, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it now and I'm going to do it forever, is really a recipe for failure. Does it work for some people? Certainly. But my bet is if you were to meet an Olympic athlete and ask them, honestly, in a moment of off the record honesty, have you ever really thought that it wasn't worth it? Ever? I'll bet a fair number of them would say, oh, yes. And what changed? Well, they had a coach, or they had a trainer, or they had someone who believed in them, who got them back on track. So the remedy for that is, first of all, work with someone. If you're making a lifestyle change, work with someone who knows what the hell they're doing. Okay. Technically, I would say a clinical hypnotist is a pretty good choice, but I don't know all clinical hypnotists in the world. And then the second thing I would say is take your time. You have the rest of your life to live. Take your time. Back in the 70s, when I was a kid, teenager, we used to have a saying called today is the first day of the rest of your life. It's schmaltzy, I know, but it's serious. So take your time. Joseph Onesta, clinical hypnotist here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I wish you well. I'll see you in the next video.